Welcome to this week's episode of the Tracy L Clark Show. I want to welcome our new listeners. Always pleasure to have you, and our old returning listeners as well, no matter how or where you hear us. I know everyone says, so I get a lot of notes. How do I find you? You can do Spotify, you can do iTunes, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. Facebook Live is always good. Today is a call-in show if you have something that you want to shift. 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. I want to talk today, though, about the holidays, the energy that's shifting on the planet, what you might be feeling, why it's coming up, and also experiences. So I want to start with the more fun one, which is all about experiences. And quite often, when the holidays come, or any time throughout the year, people will run around and you're getting your shopping and you're going to all these events and you're saying, oh, I got to get this and I got to get that, and you're really going above and beyond. But what you really remember over time is the experiences and the memories. And I know I'm always a really big advocate of creating experiences for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for those that you really love, because it's within those experiences that you're going to take those with you right up until the day you decide that you're no longer going to be here. And it's inevitable. We're all leaving at some point. So often people in the holiday times are looking for that right gift or that perfect gift. And really, when it comes down to experiences, think about that memory or when you were a child and you had an experience you remember. I know at the holiday time, I remember always my mom would bake. She still is a great baker. We just don't eat as many cookies anymore. But she would bake and we would listen to Christmas music. We were laughing the other day, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Christmas music, all the good classics. And we would listen to this music and it created memories that I still remember today about, you know, really that fun and that joy on that holiday time. I don't really remember. The only thing I remember about getting as a present, because back then when it was Christmas, or that's the only time you really got a present, or you got a few things that going back to school. So it had a lot of magic behind it, of the season and anticipation and what was happening. But all of that good food and the music and the eating of the great cookies, and she would put them in the freezer. Of course, you'd go down to the freezer and you would sneak in and have your favorite cookies. And there was always, that was such a memory, and it was such a memory of joy and fun, and it carried on. And then your time playing, with your siblings or your friends coming over, and those are the things you tend to remember. And I know this weekend I was able to create a memory. I'm always creating memories with my children, whether we go somewhere, whether we, do a holiday together. I'd much rather put my money into those areas. And it was really interesting because my daughter had taken me on an experience where she wanted to take me out, and we were going to create our own little lipsticks and just have fun with it. There's a place here to do that and really spend that day to create the experience. And that was her gift. And I had actually received some money that I was like, it was out of the blue. Because, if you listen to us on the radio, we're always talking about how you receive things out of the blue and how beautiful it is. And, what are you going to do with it? Typically, a lot of us are very practical and we're very, okay, we've paid our bills, we've done this, we've done that, and you carry on. But so my daughter and I went out and I thought, you know what? I have this money. I'm going to create an experience. Now, yes, this was going to an extort experience, but it was really fun because we went into the store that she had never thought she'd ever go into. And I said to her, like, oh, isn't this nice? Blah, blah, blah. We just had fun with it. And I said to her, well, is there something in this store that you would like? And she was like this deer in headlight, like shocked. I wish I could take pictures of her, but I wasn't going to embarrass her in this way. And she's still like, she's talking, but it wasn't necessarily about what it was about what we experienced in the store, but it was that moment of, she's like, oh my God, I'll never forget this, like how you surprised me and how we just did this together. And I thought I could put this on something practical, or I could create this really fun experience for her even though she was creating this beautiful experience for me. So, see how we did it together. So, we had this incredible experience of the day. And then I surprised her because I'm like, I can be practical or I can create an experience that's fun for her that she'll remember forever. And it was just to see that expression, to see that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful surprise and dumbfound and no. And she's like, I will remember this for the rest of my life. And that's what's fun. And I know when I've traveled with my children a lot, these again experiences and bringing them with you and just creating that. So I really want to just increase the energy vibe of the experiences that you're having, that you're creating in your life. And they should be every day. So whether it's your friends, your family, every day, that moment is just so important, and to stay really present and just be honoring yourself. And I mean that by being present. That's how you honor yourself. You're present. You're not caught up in what isn't there. You're caught up in that moment. And that's what this holiday should really, I want to encourage each and every one of you of having that reflection of where did you create an experience in someone's life? Where did you step out of yourself to create an experience that somebody will remember for the rest of their life? And I got to tell you guys, if you haven't done it before, it doesn't have to involve financial. Like, it really doesn't. You can create something that doesn't cost money, that creates an experience in someone's world. And this is where it's so beautiful and it's so rewarding. So I really want to bring that up. The other thing is that we're going to talk a little bit about before we get to our callers. I know we have I think we have Alyssa on the line. We're going to get to her first. One of the things that I also want to talk about right now is the energy is shifting quite quickly. And it's quickly shifting because we are getting to the end of 2019. So it can bring a lot of unsettled energy in the body. But what I want you to look at, that unsettled energy that's coming up in the body, it's actually like a salt and pepper shaker, or you're in a snow globe that's been turned upside down. It's shaking you to bring forth the things you've asked for over this last decade as it's closing out. So to start 2020, right, with double vision, double space, double way, double increase, double, double, double. It's all about increase, increase, increase. To go into 2020, your body is demanding to be recalibrated right now. What does that mean? Your body is getting rid of information it does not need for next year. And that can be very, very uncomfortable for a lot of people, because you can really start to you got to decide right now, are you wanting to be stagnant and around energy that's stagnant, or do you want to be really moving in energy that's flow, that's moving forward? I know I was doing a video for our Effortless Academy and the Miraculous Academy about this, and I want to share a little bit for you guys, because it's really time to make a choice. Do you want to stay stagnant and stuck and in that pool, or do you want to move? And that's why you're getting recalibrated. That's why you're feeling frustrated, more a little bit anxious. But there's an energy on the planet that it's happening to everybody. So I want to just move some energy for you guys, so you don't stay stuck in it, that you can see the truth. And remember, the truth of what you think you're seeing can be very skewed based on the perception of what's being let go. So if you have a certain idea or an expectation of how it should look, and you don't want to drop that expectation or idea or thought pattern, you can end up thinking you're in your truth, but you're not. You're really running with the fear and the ego to keep you stuck. So I don't want any of you to be there. So I want to just thank the hand of God of starting to move that and shift that energy off you guys, so you can actually start to say, okay, I'm willing to really look outside myself and really step into the stream that's moving. It's that same theory that where people say, are you going upstream or are you going downstream? And when you're going up the stream, you're pushing against the current, you're pushing against ease and grace, and it's getting very, very thick. But if you're going with the flow, that's where you're just in the stream, you're just flowing and it's going effortless. And then you can start to bring in and create at a much, much quicker rate. So I just want to leave that with you guys to really start to hone in to what is the energy. Do you want to be in the pond? Do you want to be in the stream? Are you willing to look outside yourself? Are you willing to say, what is this that I truthfully need to change about myself, truthfully need to change? Because it's very easy to find the people that will agree with you, but it doesn't mean they're helping you. It doesn't mean they're moving you forward. It's very easy to stay stuck in a victim mode because the body is actually just afraid of moving forward and moving out of those old patterns. So we have lots of stories we concoct in our head. It's human nature. So thank you, God, for letting those go. All right. So you're going to create experiences. You're going to put somebody's in shock of beauty and joy because it's always fun. It's kind of like when you go to the store and you just turn around and pay for the person's stuff behind you and walk out. It feels good. And then they look dumbfounded and you're like, oh, see you later. I love it when you do that. And they're like, well, who are you? Why are you doing it? They're like, bye, have a good day. And you just leave. Like, do stuff like that if you can. It's just fun. Like, you'll see, do it one time. You're gonna have a blast. All right. So Zach, I think and Alyssa, is that who you said we have on the line?
Yes, Alyssa from Muskoka. You are live on the Tracy L Clark show.
Hi.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you today?
Tracy. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fabulous. What's your question today? What can we help you with?
Well, I'm having trouble trying to deal with my boyfriend, who
Yeah.
I'm just like on and off relationship with him
Yeah.
constantly.
So, yeah.
And I just can't stop from keeping myself from going back to him, even though I want to be with him, but I'm just having trouble.
Yeah, it's not
making this
at
decision.
that healthy, at the healthy space. There's a really cool exercise that you can do for this. I can start to move the energy because it's perception. So body is also very used to the back and forth. So it's actually feeling very normal. So as much as our brain says we don't like it, the body finds it very normal because it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Your body also will spends more time being weighted in what is good, bad, and versus what is not healthy for you, right? So and then where those changes are. So I can start to move this for a little bit more clarity. Thank you, God. But there's a really cool exercise that when I give people to do this, the light bulb moment goes on. So I'm going to give it to you because it's amazing exercises. What do you require in the relationship, and what are you willing to totally say, I'm willing to put up with that, and I'm just going to love it and not worry about it again? So this means writing down on a piece of paper. What do you require? So so I want you to do the exercise because this is really cool. I see your light bulb moments going on where I really require, to be treated A, B, and C. And you can see that list gets very long for you. And when you look at the traits that he has on paper, that am I truthfully willing to just forgive this, let this go, and live like this? There is an energy that's going to start to come up in your heart. And there's going to be a space there that's just going to be so clear. And it looks like I can cut off some more cords and some more karmic ties because it looks like the stronger you're getting very strong. And next year you start to step into this strength of what you're willing to allow on how you're treated and what you're not. So that's why the body's still pushing back and forth, because it seems like you've made already many different levels and layers, like you've jumped a lot. And now you're really getting clear. You're really getting clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I do feel stronger since our June workshop that we did. I feel stronger, but it's just I'm still in that relationship with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's also a big part of your body that's really afraid of what does it look like without this back and forth. And that's what I'm clearing up now. So I want you to do this exercise because it's more the fear. That's where you're creating resistance in self, because it's the fear of what does this look like if I'm not in this back and forth? And that's why if you do this exercise, and people listening, if you do this exercise, the light bulb moment comes on and you're like, oh my goodness me. And then it's just an action step. So what I'm going to do is strengthen you on every level and layer to doing the action step and trusting that you're supported and trusting that you're safe and trusting that there's something even better on that other side. How does that feel when you tune into your body when I say that?
I feel more safe
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah. And understand too, this is something that people don't always hear. And you know this, we have a community that we built the way we have because we help a lot of people transition through this. So there's always people that are there. We make sure that, you understand what to do to get to the next level. So,
Yes. Oh, I
yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
it so much. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful community. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
yeah.
Because you won't be left, but no, you won't have to feel like, oh my God, am I doing this alone? Because I know what it's like. I've been there. I did it alone. That's why we created the community to make sure that people always can get, hey, I need a little bit of help here. What's happening? So you're doing amazing. Do that
Thank
exercise
you.
and let me know how it feels. Okay.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much.
So much love. Can't wait to see you again and have an
Oh,
incredible
yes, in January.
in January. Yay! Stay present. Awesome. Lots of love, sweetheart. We'll see you
Oh,
then.
love you too. Thanks, Tracy.
Bye.
Bye.
I love it. This is what I love when people call in and you can really hear and the fact that this is what the community is about. It's about making sure that no matter where you are in the world, that we all fall down and you need people to pick you up and know that they're there for you and keep moving forward. And every day you get a little bit stronger, just like we were saying, in things that may feel really difficult. Keep going, keep being, yes, yes, I'm doing it, because I know I've been there. I had to leave all that space as well. And it's hard leaving relationships because your body gets into the pattern. It's just in a pattern. And if you can recognize that, it's like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. What pattern do I want to choose now? That's where the transformation comes. All right, Zach, we have Milan on the phone, or Milan?
Yes, Milan from Miami. Sorry, what a
Miami,
lie.
Milan.
Hi, Tracy. How are
Hi,
you?
Milan. Good. How are you?
Good. So I have a couple questions. We're at the
Sure.
end of the decade, getting rid of
Yes.
family branding, molds, etc. And
Yeah.
the other one is when somebody goes, crosses over. Let's say we forgot something. They cross over, and we say, like, you know what? Let them take everything. We give it up to God
Yeah.
and whatever. But at times, it's like you wonder if everything's been taken care of, which it has. But then
Yes.
becomes like the new devil, new level, trying to
Yeah.
test you. Is there a way to get rid of that? And also all the resistance that may be
Yes.
happening in life. Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when somebody crosses over, it's like that karmic energy that people talk about, or the ties, they do get wiped out. It's us that stays here that keeps it holding on. It's we
Yeah.
keep the resistance in for something that we are looking for or require. So let's start to lift that off you. Anybody that has resistance. So it's that resistance that creates the change. So the person in your life held a story or a pattern for you that allowed you to really stay consumed and kind of in this chaotic space. Well, now that they're not there, your body's actually recalibrating and saying, well, wait a minute, I've been in this resistance, but now I don't have to. So it's a really, really good realization. It's a great question because I can actually unplug it fairly quickly and override it with this space now, of where it's like, oh, I don't have to be in resistance because that's all forgiven. That's done. Now I get to step into more creation. That's what's sitting on the other side. So you're looking to create some resistance because there's another level of creation that's sitting here at a door waiting for you to walk in. It's like the door's open. It's like, hello, are you coming over? Like, let's go. And so the brain keeps going to the past versus going, okay, that's done. Let's move forward and step into the new door. So are you okay if I readjust this for you so you can be super strong to going into the new door?
All is well. Go. Do what you
Go
need
for
to do.
it. Thank you. So I'm going to just unplug any of the rest of the cord. So it looks like it's just dissolving, liquefying. The energy is coming out of the spine and then a little bit on the back part of the brain. And that's on the left side, on just on the middle part of the back part of the head. Left side, just a tad. You can see that there's a pocket of energy there that actually the left side of your brain communicates to the right side of your body. So it's actually, that's that old male energy that's leaving and the old patterns that you had for your whole life, because it's all you knew your whole life, right? So there's you're actually 80% through it. So what you're feeling right now is, it feels like, am I going through this because this is like that new devil, new level? So we always say that yucky energy comes in as you're getting ready for a supernatural breakthrough. Thank you, God. So you're just at the 20% of the tail end, which is really good because it's already pretty much left. So it's not something you need to look at or take into 2020. And that's what I was saying. A lot of this energy is coming up now to release out of the body because we're shifting to such a high frequency. So don't get caught up too much into overthinking. Just like do the one simple tool. Thank you, God. I'm going to reset that. I'm going to let that go. I'm pulling that out. Doesn't have anything to do with me anymore. I'm changing my perception because I'm ready to walk in to my new reality. That would be my declaration for you, is I'm ready to walk into my new reality. I'm walking in my new reality, not ready. I would just say I'm walking in my new reality, because every second of every day, you're now creating something new. And if you look at this last year, you can see you've dropped off so much. You could feel that and see that, right?
Thank
Of
you.
how much you've dropped off. Yeah. So this is the new that's coming in. So it's actually really beautiful. I love it. I love it. Yeah. How does that feel?
Thank you. I feel great, actually. It was
Yeah.
time to do it, actually.
Yeah, you were ready. And that's normal when we have people that have left. It's like, did we have unfinished business? And if you ever feel like, anybody listening, all right, chills, if you ever feel like there's still unfinished business, write them a letter and just write everything down, pen and paper, not on computer. And then when you go to burn it or flush it down the toilet or rip it up or whatever you want to do with it, just like, thank you, God, I'm releasing the rest of this because it's more for you than them. They've already let it go. And now usually that energy is just coming to serve you. It's not coming to hold you back anymore. So that's a great way. If there's any remnants, that's the best way to get it out of the body super quick.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I kindly
You're
appreciate this,
welcome.
Tracy.
So
Take
much
care,
love. Have fun in the
Same
sun.
I will. I'm sending all the Canadians lots of sunshine.
Oh, we'll take it all.
care.
It's kind of not so bad out there today. So I
Okay,
love this. Bye. Lots of love. So that's the energy shaking off your body. What, again, are you really prepared to look at and say, I'm letting that go? Like, I really am not going to give that attention. A lot of people say to me, Tracy, this person's bothering me or this is happening. And if you're feeding it, you're really getting into that resistance. And it does trigger people. They get upset when I'm like, stop feeding it. So it's literally, if you have a bad piece of fruit or something and it's on your floor and it's being covered in maggots, are you going to leave it there so the bugs keep coming? Or do you start to just sort of clean it up, get it away and forget about it? And if it's done, it's done. So it's in this place where the more you can get very easily right now caught up in maybe negative energy, you want to call it, or dark energy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But it's easy right now because the bodies are just letting go. So be in a bath, just like, oh, thank you, God, I'm letting this go. It's leaving, everything's lifting off. And then go into something joyous. So really, like I said, experiences. What could you even create for yourself as a beautiful experience that is your maybe routine that just goes, wow, like, I'm a nerd. People know that. I'm a Star Wars nerd. Have been a Star Wars nerd since I was pretty much, when Star Wars came out in the early 70s. Went to the theater. Yes, I remember those, right? And I even have all my little characters. I am. But that to me is always fun. It's play. It lets go. And, I get into the place. I love classical music. So sometimes what I do is, I'll go put on an Andre Bocelli or something like that. And I get lost in the music and I create an experience that opens my heart, or I listen to other high vibe music, or maybe I got to go read a passage of something. And this creates experiences in my day to keep me focused, to keep me grounded, to keep me really in that place of love and neutrality. So I want to challenge you. Create your own experiences, but also create them for other people, and make this a very big part of your life for every day, for the rest of your life. And watch, you'll keep moving in the river. You're going to keep on flowing, and you're not going to get stuck in that stinky pond that doesn't have your life moving forward. It has your life being stagnant. So I want to encourage you, check us out at tracylclark.com. We're going to take a quick break. I know in just a minute here, and we're going to come back to Michael from Calgary and get back to your questions. But also, We have the online academy. People always say, how can I, if I'm not in your city, how can I come to you? The online academy, we're making the site a little bit easier for you guys, but there's the effortless academy, the miraculous academy, and the evolutionary academy. There's 3 different ones, depending if you're beginner, intermediate, or you're really ready to be with me every week and work and really go deep and have a lot of fun doing it and creating. That starts in 2020. So check it out, tracylclark.com, and see what are you really ready to step into, and we can help you every step of the way. So we will see you right after the break, and we're going to come back with Michael from Calgary. Welcome back. Happy to have you here. You know, I love our little break time. He's a great producer. It's always fun. We can laugh. We were talking about how people blow up turkeys and they deep fry them. Sorry, I just find that so it's like, why? Why? Don't do that, guys, this Christmas. Put it in your oven. Make sure it's nice and safe. All right, Deck, I think we have Michael on the line from Calgary.
Yes, Michael from Calgary. You are live on the Tracy L Clark Show.
Hello.
Hi, Michael. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How's your question today?
What's my question? Well,
yes,
first,
or
I
your.
want to thank you. I want to thank you for my hip is feeling a lot better. If you remember, we were doing a little bit of work on that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's actually all gone now. So
Yay!
thank
you, God. Yeah.
Share that testimony. Yeah. The part I'm working on now is I'm still letting go as I'm opening up my lungs, and I've been doing some breathing exercises. I've been using the energy tools to open it up more, and I did have to go and get an inhaler just to help for temporarily, but I'm just wondering if I can get some more help cleaning a little bit more out of there, and I'm wondering if there's anything more that needs to clear.
Yeah, there's some energy that's stuck in there, and it has to do with actually past holiday experiences and past transitions at end of year. So I'm actually having a hard time breathing in here. So, and your throat's a little bit closed up. So we'll start to remove that, and I'm going to open that. Now, make sure too that when you tap your lungs and then you pull your hands out for that expansion, so people can see me on the video, but when you tap it and pull it out for the expansion, but I am going to remove this accumulation of energy. So it's sort of when your body looks at the year ends as actual endings and then into new beginnings rather than just an ending and a flow into something different. Little bit of a
Okay.
different energy, but could sound the same. So what we'll do is we'll remove, and then we're going to remove that accumulation of energy. Thank you, God. I'm also going to open you up to a better transition from a year end to starting a new year. But there seems to be a lot of energy. It's what you picked up in your environment, what you picked up from watching people of expectations and what things happen over the holidays. And your brain isn't really thinking in the space. The body's trying to let go of it. So it's just harder to breathe. It's just like, better, like
Yeah.
mentally. So it's great. But your lungs are like, wait a minute, what's expected of me? Because this is the first holiday that you're actually coming into, that you're very strong in your power. Like you've done so much changing and shifting that you're coming into this holiday as a very different person than you
Yeah.
ever experienced any other holiday. Like
Yeah, it's
very.
interesting you mentioned that because I've been noticing as I've been getting to the end of the year, a lot of I used to get very depressed at this time of year, and I noticed that was starting to come up, and I knew it was residual. I knew it wasn't now, but then there's been another space where I keep there's a spirit of distraction or something where I keep wanting to discount everything and being like, oh, I should feel more peace or more joy or what's wrong, and there's nothing wrong. It's that I'm focusing too much on the distractions and actually not acknowledging where I am. And I know that I'm very different at this time of year than I was last year.
Yes. And I love that you have this awareness and people listening. I said this to someone today. I said about you came up, yours must have been buzzing. And I said, when I look at people of how proud over the year, I'm like, you're right up there because you've changed so much. But again, like really focus on that energy when it feels distraction. Say, oh my gosh, look at where I was last year and look at where I am now. Like I know the listeners won't get it, but I'm going to tell you, Michael is someone who's totally said, I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I know Tracy might trigger me, but I'm going to open my awareness, my connection to God, my empowerment. You are changing lives every day. And look at how much your life has changed. Like, I can't say enough of how just so proud and just honored as a servant of God to help you get there because you're a full embodiment and you're going to be changing so many lives yourself. And that's what's coming out. That's what it is. Yeah, you can just see. And like you said, a lot of people get depressed this time of year because there's a lot of energy around, oh, maybe I don't have this situation or this person or this isn't happening or my finances. And this is energy is a very collective energy and sort of where I'm not. The body also scans, and you used to do this. So I'll pull it out because it's just remnants. It's not in the brain pattern, which I like, and it's not in your heart pattern. It's just in the body remnants. Is a lot of people get to this end of the year and they scan the last year and go, what didn't happen? What didn't I get? Right? Or this should have happened rather than what did happen and these huge breakthroughs. And that's partly why you would be depressed. But then you also have 20% of energy before when you would get depressed. It was very connected to people that are around you versus you. And so this, you see that? So that's the remnants. So I'm going to clean this all up because you're ready to let it go.
Yes.
And it's actually
Awesome.
it's coming out of your waist. So on your hip bone. So I'm not surprised when you were talking about the hips before. This is really cool because it's coming out of the waist area and we're going actually into the skeletal structure, not the muscles, ligaments, tendons, and joints, but the skeletal structure of the whole hip area. So let me pull this out so we can create more stabilization.
Yeah, I can feel that going down my right ankle right into the ground now as you're saying that.
Yeah, I'm burping that out. So everybody else can take all of this, especially if you've had any form of depression around the holidays, which can happen, right? So let's pull this out. You're going to make me burp. That's okay. I can get it out. How does that feel in your body now? How does your body
feels really good. It feels like there's still a little bit that's leaving through the right leg, which is really good. The hips feel a lot better. I actually, as you were starting to move it, I could feel that on the right hip, sort of in that waist area. But it feels good. And when you were talking about at the beginning of the call about, I don't even remember now what you were saying, but
the experiences and the energy shift. Yeah.
Sorry, the beginning of my call and when you were talking to me, it felt very, very expansive. So it's like I'm ready to step forward into that joy. And yeah, I don't remember what I was
You're
going to say,
in
but it
the
feels,
joy. You're ready to actually now shift the paradigm completely. So your body's just doing that reflection because this is the first experience you've had in a holiday that is like nothing else you've ever had before because of all the shifting you've done all year.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you've never been in this place. Like this is a total new energy. So it's going to feel a little foreign and then you'll find a place to distract. But what I love is you're not sitting in the stinky pond. You're like, I'm going forward. I'm moving. I'm shifting. I'm going to keep going. Right. So for you to celebrate that because you're on a rocket ship, like you've taken off. You've taken off.
And I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I can feel every day like there's something really, really good or a bunch of good things that are going to happen next year. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's like waiting for Christmas. Like next
I know.
Year is Christmas. I don't know about this year, but next year is Christmas. It's like I don't know.
But this is, really I always say it should be like Christmas all year long. Like every day is a miracle or a blessing. And when that kind of energy, when people can grasp it, watch the miracles every day. They get bigger and they get bigger and they get bigger. And you're like, oh my gosh, like every day becomes like a Christmas day. That's what you're feeling because that's the energy you're walking into. And that is where I have to say 90% of my days are like that. I'm a human being. I feel there are things that do upset me. Absolutely. But I let them go. And 90% of the days like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look what happened today. So, it's just, and then you get into play energy and that's what you're stepping into. So that, again, it feels a little
because
foreign.
That's what I've been wanting more of. And I've been like, well, but I don't feel it yet, So I go back into the gratitude and say, okay, what have I changed? And then oftentimes then I start to feel a little bit more of that joy. But I know there's more of almost like a high coming. So I will take more of that for sure.
Oh, you have more of that 100%. And every day it's just like, if you go, don't worry as much if you're not feeling it as much too. You can also go, oh, look at how much I've changed, like really become your, I don't like that word guru. So I'm going to take that. I'm trying to find a different word, but just become so proud of yourself, like literally like, wow. So if you have that moment, scan the last year and go, oh my gosh, like I don't look the same. I don't act the same. I have so much love, compassion, joy. Oh, wow. And then you can just keep growing on it and growing on it and growing on it. That's amazing.
Awesome.
If I was listening to this, guys, I would be taking this energy. You're welcome. Michael, you are the truth of why I love to get up every day and do what I do. It is, you have gone above and beyond, and you just, for someone that's going to university, like I said, you have changed your destiny. You have been this light in the world and your light is growing and growing and growing. Oh, and one of the other things I see is keep your hands opening because the healing energy out of your hands is actually, you're going to see it on a whole other level next year. They just actually showed that. So keep opening your hands. Yeah. Well, you're proof. Do the work, show up every day, dig deep. You were in the evolutionary program. You dug deep and look what you did. Look what you did. You changed your whole.
Amazing. So happy.
Yeah. Proud of you. So go spread that light in the day and let me know how you're feeling. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. Lots of love. You know what? I love when you guys call in. I'm so proud of you guys. Like I say, I'm so honored to be this servant of the God energy, to watch you guys shift and change. And each and every one of you has made some miraculous shifts this year. And that's what I want you to focus on. That's what I want you to really hold on to, because this is a truth. And that's the building block to bringing in more. In truth, what did you really shift? What did you change? Maybe a person, a place, a thing left the life and you opened up all this different. Did you stay in the pond or did you go down the river? All right, Zach, we have Madura on the line.
Madura from Calgary. You are live on the Tracy L Clark Show.
We love our Calgary friends. Hi. Oh, I got a little scratchy there. So let's just see. Make sure I can hear you. You there? Yeah, it kind of goes in and out, but we'll do the best we can to decipher.
Hold on, and then I'll just take my headphones off because I've got my headphones on.
Oh, that's okay.
Hello?
A little bit better. All right. What's your question?
So my question for today is, I was sitting in the pond.
Yes.
Around my birthday, I think there was a lot of old energy coming up. in previous years where I used to hate my birthday, hated it.
Yes,
I
I
couldn't
know.
stand it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I've been working on your birthday track, so yeah, I love it.
I'm very excited. And so I kind of sat in that. It was just a day I think I just needed to purge everything. Like it was just tears, crying. There was a lot of anger, frustration coming up. Kind of took it out towards my husband, poor man, because
we'll clean him
up.
up. It's
I just want one day where someone will plan something where I'm not in charge of planning. And so we kind of felt really bad. But it was just a lot of negative energy. So I'm just wondering if you clear whatever's remaining. I feel much better because I think it just needed to get all of that out.
Actually, I got chills. This is actually really beautiful watching this. I'm so proud of you. You're another person that just digs deep, and wow, like you guys are just testimonials of what happens when you do the work. And I'm so proud of you. It actually, because there's an energy that shifts on our birthday. So our birthdays are actually our New Year's. So New Year's Eve that we all celebrate, that I don't celebrate anymore, is actually only came into play so Caesar knew when to put in taxes. A lot of people don't know that. So we're celebrating, woohoo, we know when tax season starts. Your birthday is actually your New Year's. So what happens a couple of weeks prior to the birthday is, because that's when your years change. So when people say, what cycle are you in? You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, like what's your year? What's your cycle? And you don't have to get too caught up in that. But so a couple of weeks prior to your birthday, what's happening naturally in your body is it's scanning. So it does like a scan. So you know how you run a virus scanner on your computer? It's doing that. And it's like, what don't you need anymore? What has to let go? What are you releasing? And it's happening naturally. So the anger, the frustration, the fear, people are like, well, shouldn't that be a happy moment? I'm like, no, I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through. I'm watching this energy going, oh yes, these are actually good breakthroughs. So I'm going to start to just disconnect the things that you don't really need to focus on anymore. You're sort of done with. The body's just naturally letting it go. The other thing, though, that I'm proud of you, that looks like we have to make some adjustments on is exactly with what you said, is we all love to be, seen. Our birthdays, I love birthdays because birthday is a celebration that you're here. This is why you should love your birthday, because you're born to touch the people you're meant to touch for the greatness that you bring into the world. If you don't celebrate your birthday, that sends off an energy that other people shouldn't. So it appears what's happened, because you didn't embrace the energy, and now you want to. You're like, yeah, I kick butt. Yes, I want to celebrate me. Now we have to retrain the people around you. So very happy that you spoke up and said, look, this is my day. And it is. Everybody on that day or that month or that week, however long you want to stretch it out, that's the place of just saying yes. And it's not even, people sometimes think it should be your friends and everyone else. It's actually the immediate people around you. That's where the biggest impact comes from. So your parents, your husband, children, stuff like that. So let me reset this, because that's where also there was some sadness coming up. Is like, oh dear, I conditioned them to not give a crap about my birthday because I didn't. And I need to change that. Oh, burp that one out. So let me reverse that for you and everybody in the family. We're just going to give you a little bit of an energetic boost here, because you're being a little bit too hard on yourself, because it's like, hey, this is my special day. And not, oh, I just ran to the grocery store on the way home. It reminds me of that 70s show where they forgot about the mom's birthday and they give her a strainer or something, or a funnel from the grocery store. Well, that doesn't work, guys. Doesn't work. Yeah. No. And there is a place in there that comes, because it is our day to be important. So I'm just going to actually increase where now you're coming into this vibe about, I matter. I love my birthday. What I love about this, and people forget, that vibe actually transfers into every area of your life. So it transfers into your health, it transfers into your career, it transfers into your finances, because you're now celebrating your coming into the world of your gifts to the world.
Yeah.
How does that?
It was funny, because I told my husband's like, you always just say it's just another day, and I was like, oh crap.
Mm-hmm. So he was honoring your wishes.
So so, and then, yeah, exactly. We get mad at
And
it.
and that was your truth. But what I love is now you've changed. And that's where people say, "Oh, I'm in my truth." I'm like, "Well, your truth changes a lot, right?" So now it's like, "No, I've done my work. I'm here and I want it to be a special day." So I can see that he's actually got some wheels turning there. So this is good, and it's good you expressed it, and it's very good you had that awareness that, oh yeah, I conditioned that. Yes.
Yeah,
How does it feel in your body now when I shift that? Because
good.
it's coming through the
Yeah,
heart.
it feels a lot better. I had some tingling
Yeah,
last night through my arms and like
good.
my toe.
Yeah.
So it was,
Okay.
and yeah,
I'm
it feels a
also,
lot lighter and better.
yeah, if you're okay, I'm also going to just clean out the meridians on the left side and the
Yeah,
right side. I'm
please.
just going to scoop them down. And I'm also going to just run. It's a very interesting. I was doing some videos for the Miraculous Academy today, and this pink energy orb showed up, and it's actually so funny. Must be because you were going to call in. I actually see it going down your system already on the spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the energy of it. It's really opens up the throat and the heart, and we're going to allow it to go up and down the spine. So the stagnant energy that was holding from any birthdays past or not feeling recognized by the people closest to you, it'll start to just allow this to dissipate. But it shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable at all. It's just going to go up and down from the C1 right to the tailbone, and everything, it just sort of falls off wherever it's stagnant. So don't worry, you shouldn't feel anything other than lighter and lighter and lighter. There, it's stopping and spinning right behind the heart chakra though. So that's just whatever's left. So don't worry, and then it'll keep going. So that looks really good. So I can strengthen that. Thank you, God. Yeah. I would do something this weekend that is it creates an experience, like I was saying at the top of the hour, a memory. Do you have time to be able to do that for yourself this weekend?
Yeah, so we're gonna go bowling because I mentioned it. I was like, well,
Nice.
we both celebrate our birthdays
Yeah.
together because his is on Sunday, so we're gonna go
Okay.
bowling together, and then he's actually going to go to the hockey game with my son, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go downtown to the core and walk around with all the Christmas lights with my youngest.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to tether, I get chills. I'm going to tether some energy for both of you, separate and together, and to be with your children and to really pull that energy in and just to have some fun, because I know the core of where you are, it's always lit up very beautifully. So let's start to increase that. And that makes me happy because actually we can anchor that experience, and you're going to notice your heart space is going to change drastically by then. So it's going to feel way better, and make sure you let me know how that is feeling, because it is your birthday and we want you to really, you're ready. Like Michael was just saying at the year end, and because your birthday is at this time of year, you're prepping, you're letting go of the old, you are prepping for all that new in 2020. You've done the work, you've showed up, you've stepped up, you look deep. And what I love about you too is you go, oh yeah, I did that, I got to change that. And that is where real transformation comes from.
Well, thank you very much. I'm off to get my nails done, actually, because I haven't done it in a while. So
go have fun. I so love you. You have an incredible day. Bye, sweetheart.
Thanks. Bye.
So the year is ending. The year is letting go, and embrace it, and really do that tool. Expand over the last year and say, what has changed? It's so easy to stay in victim mode. It's so easy to stay in the pond with people that are going to go, yeah, poor you. Don't stay in the pond. Make yourself a promise that you want to be in the flow, and that you'll look inside and say, wow, you know what? I did have a good year. And if you didn't have a good year, say, you know what? I'm ready to change my perception, because it's all about choice. It's all about going within. It's about you and what's really, really happening inside of you. And that's where the joy and the blessings come through. So I want to thank that hand of God of increasing miracles and blessings and overflow, and speaking that into your life on every level and every layer. And may the old just fall off effortlessly with ease and grace, and that you press in more to that beautiful energy of the God consciousness. You might say universe divine, but press in more and know that you are here for greatness. You are here for the beauty. Don't let the life just pass you by, because we all have an expiration date. We are all going to expire. at some point, and we're going to transition up into that. I always like to say the heavenly realm, wherever you're going to transition to, but it's that place of beauty and oneness. So it is time to step into more love, more humility, and more compassion for everyone. And you can always go another level and another layer, and letting go of misinformation, misinterpreted information, and information that doesn't work for you anymore. I am so excited for 2020. We do have some pre-recorded shows coming up, depending on what's happening over the next few weeks. So we will be, if anything, there'll be call-in shows coming back into January, but please stay with us. We're here to support you. Again, check us out at tracylclark.com on the online academy. There's so much there. Baby, just getting in, Effortless Academy. You want more 5 days a week? That's the Miraculous Academy. And you want me live every week? That is definitely our Evolutionary Academy. That's a whole year. That is a lot of fun. And that's where you see the shifts coming. And it's time to declare, this is my year. I am so honored, as I say, to be the conduit and that servant of the God consciousness to help you shift, to move. And I know each and every one of you listening, you're going to have an incredible 2020. It's about choice. And are you really ready to choose something different, which means choosing, even if it feels uncomfortable, because your body does not know what it is on the other side. So when you step into that new energy, it will feel uncomfortable, but you can do it. And I promise you, our team is here to help you continue to be uplifted on every part of who you are. So have an incredible week. Go create some experiences with your family. And we'll see you again right back here on Transformation Talk Radio on the Tracy L Clark Show.